Hello and welcome back. I'm filming a bit earlier than usual this morning. The Bible talks about this time on earth where there's this prophecy where the chosen ones will awaken, if you will, where the teachings of not only the pure teachings of Jesus before they were translated by other people, the teachings of the Buddha himself, and the teachings of all the masters of the past right up until today have talked about this. What seems to be what we're going through right now. What seems to be this time on earth. The masters of old and of today talk about the surprising jewel, the surprising importance, the hidden value of suffering. And if you look around the world, there's a lot of suffering right now. The suicide rates are higher than they've ever been. People are going through a difficult time. There is a change, and a lot of people are having a very difficult time with change. So we have more time alone to contemplate not only our situation that we find ourselves in, but also have the decisions and the life I have lived up till now been the life I really wanted to? Where have I been fooling myself? What can I change? And since we have a lot more time, practices like meditation are being taken up more now than ever. And some people are meditating without knowing they're meditating. Because when you go inward and you're left in this state where your outside world lost a lot of the meaning that it had, a natural shift inward occurs. And when this shift happens within all of that, within this experience of turning in, there's going to be meditation. It may not be constant, but it'll be there. A person will experience meditativeness here and there throughout that experience of looking in. When you're driven by the meaningless of the world out here, meditation and turning inward is a natural consequence. In the Bible, I believed it was called a new earth, a prophecy, a new earth. And if you're interested, read Eckhart Tolle's book called A New Earth. And he talks about what seems to be happening today as well. In ancient times, certain civilizations talked about a 28 or 26 or 24, whatever, year cycle, 26,000 year cycle, where the Earth would go through 4 different phases, 4 different stages. And if you go into what they talk about and what they have found, we are now, according to them, leaving a lower section of that 26,000 year cycle. We're leaving the lowest vibrational frequency, and we're raising up now into the second. And this 26,000 year broken apart into 4 sections. These 4 sections represent human, man, woman, and how consciously aware man is. So we're supposedly in this transitional period right now, those who are alive today, from the lowest into the second stage. So it would make sense. A lot of the civilizations of the past say this happens. You hear about it in the Bible. And if you look around the world, this situation seems ripe. The world seems ripe right now, knowing that struggle and suffering tend to push people beyond their comfort zone and force those who are ready into change, and also those who didn't know they were ready. This push can also have them discover a strength within them they had no idea was there. September 18th, 2016, I had an explosive spiritual awakening. I don't know how else to explain it. For me, in my experience, it was sudden and it was loud. It was such a contrast from 1 second to the next second. Everything I knew and everything I understood and had experienced as me and my experience of me in this world had completely changed. And for a time, after this happened to me, I felt like I was one of the chosen ones. And one needs to be careful when you start to feel that you're chosen, because the ego loves to feel bigger or better than. And what is bigger or better than to be chosen by something untouchable, unreachable, God, if you will, to have been chosen by God himself as one of the saviors. So one needs to be really careful when watching videos like this, to not attach the belief and to not identify who you are as a savior. It's very important to not lift yourself up or lower yourself down. Part of the awakening is to move past the mind-generated me. The mind-generated version of you. And looking deep within yourself, you'll recognize that there are many different versions of you, levels, layers, that you 10 minutes from now might be a different version of you. So these things need to be recognized, that if you have a voice that pops into your mind that says and feels, maybe I'm chosen, maybe I'm a chosen one, then you need to be aware that that voice, where is it coming from? What is it trying to do with this? Is it simply using an identification of I am this in order to make a feeling of, ooh, this is good, I like feeling like this? Are you using it only to lift up a sense of who you are inside of yourself? The voice that says, I like, I don't. The I within you. Now, if you're using these sort of things, the idea of I am a savior, to fulfill something within your ego, then you're using it for the wrong thing, and you're not really going to, how can I say this? Things probably won't turn out for you the best. You see, the ego loves to feel better than. So keep that in mind, especially today, because the challenge now is to move past the version of ourselves that you can't touch, that you can't see, that you can't hear. The version of you that was created by the world. The version of you that thinks in shoulds and shouldn'ts. The version of you that looks and says, this is no or this is yes, and tries to govern your life to align itself with all the yeses, and also tries to avoid, push away, deny all the no's, the things you don't like in your life. So as we transition, as we are challenged around the world to spend more time than ever alone with ourselves, I encourage you to look past look past the storm, to look past the part of you, the restlessness, the fear, the anxiety, everything that you don't like, everything that you like, to simply look past it. Give me a second. The music stopped. Take a little. Ooh. Seems like it's loading. I think it's frozen, and that's fine. So, I kind of lost track there. I don't really know anymore really what I was saying, I guess. More or less. More or less, I guess this is a message to not go deeper into your ego right now, but to recognize when you're fooling yourself and to move past the child inside of you. To recognize, is this a boy, a little baby boy or a little baby girl version of me that I have held on to, that is this energy formation in me that I refuse to let go? Am I living in this is the decisions that I'm making based on this little fearful me. So these sort of questions I can't answer for you. It's something that with all of this extra time that we have now looking in within ourselves, we can learn to recognize. Because it's not everyone in the world that's going to have this awakening, spiritually speaking, but the energy and the possibility is there for everyone. So a video like this is really about helping you find either the motivation, the curiosity, and also to have you have some type of a map, if you will, to finding something in you that's more real than anything you can think about. Something that's more real than thinking altogether. Something that the mystics and all of the ancient masters and teachers throughout history have tried to tell people, that there's something else other than your ego. There's something more fundamental than the ego. There's something more real. There's something more at the heart of your essence, the true depth of your being that's real, that we all can find, and the opportunity to find it is there. And when you do find it, everything changes. So I'll leave you with that, and I'll also leave you with Leah. Say hi, Leah. Wherever you are around the world, whatever time it is that you're watching this video, there's the music again. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Spend a little extra time with yourself. Peace. Lose all